Hi, welcome back to the Frappe Podcast. I'm Foram, your host, and today I have Basawaraj with me. Basawaraj and I go way back since my initiation at Frappe, but he's an ex-Frappe employee and he has his own company now and he's a part of the partner ecosystem. Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Foram. Thanks for inviting me. I've always been a bit shy and behind the camera kind of a person, but thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, by the way, if you've ever done any of our earlier the first, I think, 10-20 courses on Frappe School, Basawaraj is the mind behind them. But yeah, when I first joined Frappe, he's the one who basically hired me for the Frappe School team to write the scripts. And yeah, it's been great ever since. I think the randomest thing that has ever happened. But the best thing also, I guess.
It was fun working with you and the team, Ritik, and all the people. It was great. I have very fond memories of working on Frappe School.
Yeah, I think it was your biggest project, was it? Or
yeah, it was. Also, it was probably the first time I felt like a part of a team because Frappe also had a lot of ICs, right, individual contributors. So Frappe School was, I felt like
we were a very tight knit team. I think like you were saying that day, like all of us had to be interdependent because only if one person completed something, like only if I wrote the script, then you could review it, and then only if you reviewed it, we could go shoot it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was a fun few months, I think. Right off the bat, like what made you hire somebody with no background in tech for a tech company or a software to teach software?
See, I think this is something I've seen in Frappe a lot. Like people with no tech background have also come and joined Frappe and they have gone on to do really well. When somebody is interested to learn, you can teach anyone anything, right? Like, I also came across ERP Next, just a complete happenstance, and then I learned. So when somebody is interested in learning something, people can learn. They just need to have that motivation and probably couple that with a purpose. I think anybody is capable of learning anything.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm very glad that happened.
So I think Rishabh also had interacted with you and he was like, okay, I was just coming out of sales team and I was already writing some documentation, etc. So it just seemed like the right thing to do. So it was great working with you, Lynette, Ritik, Umair was also there. I think we put out a lot of content.
We did. I think we had a good goal. Yeah. We really went at it. Like I remember learning each module just to write the script and having this very random test instance about paintings or something and just trying out each transaction. I was like, I've never used a software like this before. Genuinely, not because, I've never used an ERP like this. I've never used a software like this before.
Yeah.
So it was a very big, I think, learning moment for me also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good times. I mean, now we're both here on this podcast. Who we would not know 4 years ago that this was happening.
Yeah.
But like, how long have you been at Frappe?
So I was there for 4 years. But I was associated with ERP Next 3 years before that as mostly a user and a community member. And after Frappe, it's been 3.5 years. So it's been a long journey.
Yeah, and now you're an entrepreneur and you have your own customers, your own company. And we'll get to that part. I think that part is going to be much more interesting.
Yeah.
When people like go out and like blossom on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. The team gets excited, I think. It's pretty cool to see like a team member turn partner or customer turn partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And also thanks to open source, right? Because that's a lot more possible with open source. Because since the source code is available and the documentation is available, there's a community. And also whatever you build, you still have access to it, which is so great, right? I mean, imagine you working in a big company where they own everything. So you come out of it and you are basically at zero. Maybe there's some learning.
Connection to it anymore.
Yeah, right. You don't have access to it anymore. But with open source, that is still accessible. You can give it to other people, solve other problems for other people. So that's so great about open. That's the one really good thing.
Yeah, that one thread that keeps everybody tied.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though I'm not part of Frappe as an employee, but I'm very much part of Frappe, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, like Rishabh used to say, once in Frappe, always in Frappe.
Yeah. I'm sure like you still feel like a part of the team only. Nothing is whenever you're at Frappe or anything like that, it's just familiar faces and a good time.
Yeah. And that's the magic of open source, right? You never leave. Like once you are there, you never leave. You always have a choice to come back and work and use all the code and the documentation and everything. That is so great about open source.
Yeah. Like you were mentioning right before this that you also joined Frappe without knowing that much about tech, but you studied software, right?
So I'm a computer science engineer, but I really never connected to coding and all that stuff somehow. But I definitely enjoyed solving problems, and I saw how open source is great in doing that. Like if I compare my experience of trying to learn SAP when I was in Deloitte and trying to learn ERP Next when I was in Selco, this aligned very organically with me, because on my own I could just download, install it, explore it, modify it. It was just, I had a lot of fun doing that. That is very different compared to me trying to learn SAP. Yeah. So that's what kind of motivated me to stay with open source.
Yeah, you probably found your true calling anyway.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about like your early journey, schooling and all.
So I come from a small town called Bijapur in North Karnataka, and there was no social media, there was no mobile. I think those times are very different. That you spend a lot of time learning, playing. That was a big part, and much calmer, cooler. Not much pressure. There was a bit of competition, but like a small town, and we were in our own world. Not much pressure. So I studied there in Bijapur. We moved to Gulbarga for a few years, and then I came to Bangalore, and I studied in Kannada medium. So my exposure to the larger world was also limited. There was no internet. It was not accessible. Mostly newspapers were the outlet to the world. Yeah, that's where I grew up, in a small town.
Yeah, and I think like there's always this one point in everyone's life, and mostly it comes during your college years, where you move to another city, and then you see so much. Like you feel like, oh, I was in such a big bubble.
Absolutely. It was both a shock that, okay, there is this much bigger world and there are different ways of living, different ways of thinking. It was both a learning but also very unsettling, because you are in a bubble and you come out of, and the bubble bursts in an instant. You would still try to hold on to that, but you also change gradually. So yeah, coming to Bangalore and studying there was a bit traumatic, but also fun.
I mean, overall, college year is supposed to be a balance of this, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's ever said that my college was perfect. I had the best time.
Yeah.
Like, it's always going to be dramatic and lots of fallouts, lots of childhood drama. But
yeah. I mean, after my, I have been in Bangalore ever since. I studied there, and then I got into Deloitte. I got into Selco. Then I got into Frappe, but I still, Rishabh pushed me a bit to shift to Mumbai, but somehow I wasn't convinced.
You don't like Mumbai as much as Bangalore.
It is growing on me, for sure.
Good.
But at least it was, because Mumbai was first big other city that I explored after Bangalore. It was very different compared to Bangalore. I think people are a lot more busier. Everything is a lot like a fast paced here. So it wasn't appealing to me to shift to Bangalore. So I stayed there. I worked remotely. I used to come to Mumbai once a month. Yeah,
I remember like us having meetings mostly online. Also, this was right after COVID, so probably fair.
I think there was like probably 1.5 years of pre-COVID, and then like 2.5 years of COVID era that I was part of Frappe. Rishabh pushed me a bit to come to Mumbai, but somehow I resisted. I said, I'll work remotely.
There is nobody more insistent than a Mumbai person making somebody move to Mumbai. Especially with Bangalore people. I don't know, there's some weird rivalry. Yeah. But like, I have friends in Bangalore, but they're never as insistent as I am to be like, go to the city.
Yeah. But I also think it was probably, there were good and bad things. One is there was a lot of drama in Frappe during that period. So maybe it was a good thing that I stayed in Bangalore and focused on work and I remained sane. But I think I also missed out a lot by not being in Mumbai.
But I remember the first offsite, like in Malsej. Yeah. I remember this was the week after I joined, and you all were like, hey, we're going on an offsite, you should come. And I was like, should I come? Like, should I actually go? Like, I'm not even a permanent employee yet. But I went and I was shook.
Yeah.
In the best and worst ways at like everything that happened. Because there was so much discussion, so much. Yeah. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But it was also what is this company? Like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? I want to know more kind of way about it.
Yeah, I actually joined Frappe in Goa. Like, that was their...
First
I think
offsite.
Maybe first. And Rishabh, I was looking forward to, my onboarding in Deloitte was like different, right? There was a formal event. We went there informal, and they gave us a laptop, and there was a leadership talk and all that. I knew that that's not going to be the case in Frappe. But I was also not expecting to be onboarded in Goa in the nice resort. I was like, Rishabh, no, maybe...
That's onboarding in Goa.
I was like, maybe I should skip. He was like, no, come, join us. So I went to Goa. We explored Goa. We had a lot of discussions. I was like, okay, what is this company even? I had a fair idea that they had like open source. They were different. But joining them in Goa like a totally different...
and like if I can say that Deloitte and Frappe are the most opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to experience them both, so that must have been a good thing to have that comparison, right? Like most people, like me, come to Frappe and be like, oh, this is really cool. But I don't have anything bad to compare it to yet. So
Yeah, see, Deloitte was good in its own way, bad in its own way. Frappe was also both in its own way. Like they were on two different end of the spectrum, right? So I'm glad I got to experience both.
Yeah, and now you're like taking the best parts out of both and putting it into your own company, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best part of like having so much experience. You take the best parts and then run with it.
Sure. I don't think a lot of people get to experience both ends of the spectrum in a shorter period of time.
Right.
Because I see a lot of people working in corporate and much later they want to do something in social sector or something. Or I also seen people working in a startup for a long time and then ending up in corporate. But I had a chance to experience both in a very short period of time. So I think that was good because I get to draw from both and try and blend them and run a company now.
Yeah, but I'm sure it must not have been the smoothest journey. Like there are a lot of things that going through all these experiences also.
I mean, Deloitte was also unsettling in its own way because I come from a small town, and even when I studied in Bangalore, I didn't really gel well with a lot of Bangaloreans. We had our own small group of people who come from my own town. So
you were like very homogeneous.
Yeah, and I did, and then joining Deloitte was also very like when you come from a small town and mostly you're studied in like a regional language, and your exposure is also limited. And when you join a company like Deloitte, it's it's a whole different kind of a world, right? Like a large company and mostly focused on US, different culture. It was shocking in its own way. And then joining Frappe was like, shocking in different way. So I got to experience both. I think that was good.
Yeah, I think both are different kinds of pressure also.
Yeah.
There's pressure everywhere.
Yeah,
you need to do a good job. But
absolutely.
There are two layers to it, right? The first is you go, then you do the hard work. But the one under it, you have to feel like you are able to do the hard work in that environment. Like you're able to fit there well.
Yeah. See, I think when you work in a large corporate, there are a lot of unsaid rules that you just follow.
Right.
You conform to that. You don't necessarily question everything. I mean, something is done a certain way. I mean, I'm sure there are reasons why large corporates work a certain way, right? Probably that's the only way you can run a large team. So you conform, you follow the rules and all. But when you join a startup, you're kind of a rebel, especially in Frappe. Right, because everything in terms of hierarchy, in terms of open sourcing, everything was opposite here. Like when you work in large companies, sometimes you don't even mention your client name. You just say you're working on a project. But here, even like I remember, I was doing a demo, and as part of the demo, it was probably a lead from US, and I also showed them our GitHub repo, and they were like shocked. Like, why are you even showing us this? Isn't this supposed to be your intellectual property?
No, it's out there for everybody to see.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this is all open source. You don't have to buy this from us. You can just download and use. And they were like shocked. Something like that never happens in Deloitte, right? Or any of these other companies. So yeah, like very contrasting experiences.
But a happy transition, I'm guessing, for you. Like,
It was because I aligned more with open source and openness. And also, like, I've been a person who likes to learn on my own. Because I remember onboarding to Frappe and ERP Next was mostly me trying to install ERP Next locally or on DigitalOcean, learning on my own. I had a lot of fun. Whereas trying to learn SAP was very controlled. You can't just go and download and install SAP and learn.
get
Right?
that.
Yeah, you have to get a learner license or something. Very, very controlled. I didn't have much fun, honestly.
Can't even fix it if you see that something's wrong.
Yeah. It's very controlled. Whereas here you are free. You're very contrasting to learn SAP and learn ERP Next. Here I could just read the code, read the documentation. Umair had written some documentation by that time. I could read, explore, modify, learn on my own. It felt more at home learning Frappe and ERP Next compared to.
And you joined in more of a tech team, right? Like most of the people were devs at that point.
Yeah, I think except Umair and Prakash, probably I was one of the earliest non-dev guy who joined. It was challenging in its own way because I remember open days, everybody had so much more to show off that I built that feature, I built this feature.
It's overwhelming to see.
It's overwhelming. One is I already felt a misfit in Deloitte. I came to Frappe, it felt a bit at home, but I also felt a bit of a misfit because I don't write code. So it was both welcoming and unsettling at the same time.
That feeling must have been so confusing. Like, have to figure out whether this is the place or not.
Yeah. I think I came very close to either quitting or getting fired couple of times.
Oh, man.
But the first 12 months were very challenging for me because I wanted to, I think there were very few times that Frappe team was actually going and talking to people. They were very happy just writing code. But I was the one guy who was like trying to give a demo, trying to build a community, more on a customer facing side. I was a bit surprised that they don't take my feedback all the time, especially Rishabh, right? Like I used to come back with this learning because Rishabh obviously had this. He's a product guy through and through, right? He always had a long-term vision on what to do, what not to do. Whereas I'm like, okay, we're getting this raw feedback, and why aren't we building? We're like, okay, we'll build, but at our own. We'll not build anything. Like I remember I was working on this one project in Germany, and they were like, okay, take this money and build these features. And Rishabh was like, no, that's not a good feature to add in the product. So.
If that's one thing we don't do is do things for the money.
Correct, right? That was also a bit confusing. But yeah, the guy is right. He definitely knew, and he had also gone through that journey, right? He tried to build services and he kind of, he had a lot of patience. He had a very strong beliefs in, this is long term. And he would reject a lot of ideas. He would sometimes, like I was working on a project, he was like, no, it's not a good project, even though they were giving us a lot of money. So he was very, he had a conviction that, okay, we have to build a product. We have to focus on long term. We have to build assets like framework and all. Like I hadn't seen that kind of a courage in people.
Yeah, tough it is as a startup to make decisions not for the money.
Yeah, see, a lot of startups get influenced by early customers and it's all one or two anchor clients who kind of influence a lot, and that becomes the wrong thing for them, because when you are young, like a startup, you want to stay independent and you want to look at a large number of customers and be choosy about what you build, what you don't.
Quickly, basically, yeah.
So Rishabh had that conviction. That turned out to be the right bet, that you don't get too influenced by one or two customers, and you kind of take a long-term view of what is a good feature to build, what is not a good feature to build.
Yeah, it's still current also. Like even when I was talking to the team that's worked on V16 for framework, ERP and XML, like I asked them, like, how do you decide between what you have to do, like what are requested features or what are important features, versus what you want to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, most of the things we do are because we see an issue with it, because it annoys us.
Yeah.
And I was like, where else will a product team be developing?
Yeah.
only like with their own visions.
Yeah.
There are also so many people, not just one point of view.
Very few people have done it. I mean, there are a lot of open source products, but a lot of them are like at the DB, like open source DB or open source operating systems or web servers, and all in the backend, right? There are a few consumer facing open source applications, but I think very few open source business apps, right? It's a hard battle. Like a lot of companies are not even comfortable that because they think because the source code is open, what about the security?
Yeah, it's not as good, it's not as secure. Or
Yeah,
so
because
stereotypes about it that we have to fight. Apart from making good product, we have to fight this also.
Yeah, is it not easy for hackers to hack? And open source has always been that kind of audience where people are like hackers, and they have this small group and they build, right? Whereas this was like we're trying to and also people. It is true that a lot of open source apps, like the one or two core people, they lose interest, they move on to something else, and then that dies a slow death. But a lot of applications also get picked by the community and they grow strong. But this was also one of the concerns that early adopters had. Like, tomorrow, what if you stop supporting, then what happens to us, right? But we can see now that because just something is open source, doesn't necessarily mean it is less secure or
unreliable or just not as good, because it is.
It is growing, and it has survived, stood the test of the time, growing a lot more apps. It's idea whose time has come, and I'm glad I got on this journey in earlier days.
Yeah, like coming back to that also, like you were saying that in the beginning, first 12 months, you were not feeling like you were a fit.
Yeah.
What made you stick, even though you're feeling not uncomfortable?
So one is I liked the product. Other is I was doing some work. For example, I think in the 4th or the 5th month of me joining Frappe, Vinay from Zerodha got in touch with us, and he said he has a cousin, Shravan, who is in VTU, and they are trying to build an app. We think, when I thought maybe that should be done, built on Frappe or ERP Next. So I called Shravan and I went to Belgaum. It was supposed to be a 2-day trip.
Okay.
And then Shravan says, no, this has to go live in like 15 days. Can you build this?
Oh.
And my 2-day trip became a 15-day trip.
Then you built it also in
We built
days.
it. Right. I stayed there in the video campus and we built the application.
Nice.
And I had a lot of fun. And because, just imagine going there for just a meeting and then staying there, building an application and going live. I could see that the power of Frappe framework, that we can build these apps. So I was just doing something that felt right. So that and video experience was great for me. I mean, it was pure services, like we're just building one app for one customer, which didn't align with larger Frappe theme. But I could feel the power of Frappe framework, that it enables builders to build applications and workflows and solve real world problems. And that was like low code, no code framework, power of that, right? So that convinced me that there is something really powerful here, right?
But like the fact that you also felt that something was right,
Yeah.
must have been not just about the product, but I think internally also, because it takes even subconsciously your mind time to understand what is the good kind of misfit and bad kind of misfit.
Yeah.
Like bad means that you can tell that you're not belonging here,
Yeah.
and you have to like bounce really quick.
Yeah.
But the good kind is where it's a little uncomfortable to get used to it.
Yeah.
But in the longer run, I think it's going to reap bigger benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. And that video experience also opened up a lot of things down the line. After that, I went and I met Zerodha people. I think that also led to something later. And it also helped me to kind of, because when I was in Celco and I was implementing ERP Next, it was mostly about just exploring, and I hadn't gone so deep into the framework. And VTU project helped me to go deeper into the framework and learn a lot about the framework. So yeah.
Go was where you first discovered ERP Next.
Yeah. So I joined Deloitte. I worked there for 2 years as a SAP ABAPer. Then I joined Celco. And Selco, again, it has its own story. I was very much inspired by Dr. Harish Ande and team doing off-grid solar and all that, and especially in social sector, right? And they had outgrown Tally, so they were looking for an ERP. I used to work with Sudipto, who also comes from Wipro, I think, and we both were discussing, and we were like, okay, we don't know, we don't have access to the data. It was all in Tally, and we were working on email, and I think WhatsApp had just come out or something like that. We were just adopting that, and it's all email. So we both were discussing, and organically this topic came that, okay, we need a better tool. And that's when Sudipto suggested, okay, since you have some ERP background, why don't you go and see what we can do about it? And I was enthusiastic about open source. So I started to look for an open source ERP. And ERP Next I stumbled upon that, and then I implemented there. And that's how I got in touch with the Frappe team and ERP Next community.
Okay.
There I wanted to learn more. There was no Frappe School, not much of a documentation, etc. You mostly had to read the code on GitHub. And so I started to organize a few events in Bangalore, mostly in Selco office. So I got in touch with a lot of other people who had also started to work on ERP.
Before being in Frappe, you were talking about Frappe, telling people and hosting community events, basically.
Yeah. It was fun. We had a few events in Bangalore, and Rushabh came to a couple of those events.
Nice.
That's how I met him, and I got to know more about him. And
he was like, come join Frappe.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could implement a few modules of ERP Next in Selco, but I couldn't implement accounting. It was just it's a very hard battle. It was a very hard battle, and I was exhausted by then. So I was like, okay, I think my time in Selco is done. But I was also looking at ERP Next. So that's when this just evolved. Rushabh and I were discussing, and we discussed about me joining Frappe. And then I joined Frappe.
You seem like a systems guy, like even from Deloitte to Selco to now Frappe and post Frappe also. You're always involved in the systems that run the business.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am. And then, I joined Frappe. I did this video project. So I actually joined ERP Next Foundation because Rishabh felt, okay, because I was doing community events. So he thought maybe he was feeling, okay, we are all building the product, but nobody's doing the community events and all. Since I was already doing, like, why don't you do? I joined there. But then that also didn't go very well. In 3 months, I was like, okay, he asked me to come and join Frappe instead of ERP Next Foundation. So I joined Frappe. And first 12 months, like after the VTU thing, there wasn't like a team that I could go and join, because mostly Dev and there was Umer.
And people are contributing independently to the code, to like whatever features they're making. So it's,
Yeah. So I wasn't sure what to do. I think I did some implementations. Then I tried my luck at sales, but that didn't go very, very well. So we got a couple of big projects from Europe. One was in Spain, another was in Germany. I was managing both the project, the implementation. In a way, I was, apart from Umer, I was the only guy who was doing implementations, or maybe 1 or 2 people. I ran those 2 projects. And then I came to sales again. I did sales. That also, it went well for some time, but then we had a different set of people coming and joining, and I couldn't gel well with them. So what next? So Frappe School, Janat was just building the app.
Learning app,
Yeah. So in between, I also wrote documentation, and then I joined Frappe School, and you were there, and Lynette was there.
Yeah, I think awareness is like had become your main job, like awareness of the modules, the product, the community.
Yeah. I had a lot more fun in using Frappe and ERP Next, solving problems than building. I mean, I think enough code has been written. It's more about... I still feel that a lot more people should get to know about ERP Next and Frappe and the power of it, the open source.
Yeah, and everybody won't be good at, like, the only way to learn about it can't be through the code. Like,
Correct.
You're making it more accessible, right?
Yeah.
For me also, like, for every course that I wrote, you had to sit and explain at least pointers to me that this is what each module does.
Yeah.
So, it was a good part that you're teaching. and you're making it like a long-term asset that's accessible for everybody who sees it later.
So I had a lot more fun taking ERP next. Like when we used to do sales, probably I'm not a great sales person, but I was genuinely excited. Like, to give a demo, to show people how to solve problem. Maybe that also helped with a few conversions. But I also learned I was really excited about the product. But when you are in sales, sometimes you have to just sit back and listen to the customer and their problems. That is something that I learned much later. But it was fun. It didn't feel like I was working. I felt like, okay, I'm just having fun. I'm learning.
And you were exploring also, right? Back then, like you were feeling like I don't fit here. But then finding that place where you fit can be a fun experience if you're open-minded and you're like, this is just an experience from which either it's going to go well or not well, and then I can move on to the next step.
Yeah. I think in 4 years, probably I got experience worth of 15 years, because I was in sales, I was in implementation, I was writing documentation, I did Frappe School. In between, I picked up a few things which nobody else was doing. Like when back then, at least, Frappe was probably not great in onboarding people, right? They were like, okay, just this is GitHub or repo. Go figure out things. But I think I helped a few people to learn.
Right.
I remember a couple of people coming and saying that, the training sessions I did for them were like really good in understanding for them the context, what is this app, who uses it and all of that.
Yeah.
So I was also doing things which were just kind of nobody else was doing.
Makes sense. Like this time around, I had to give evals.
Yeah.
And I was worried because like last time I joined, I worked without giving evals.
Yeah.
And this time I was like, oh, how will I go through all of it? But then I was like, I remembered everything that you had explained.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I've had so many more things in my brain since.
Yeah.
But it's nice that I remember. Like, it was easy enough.
This is something I advise people who are just starting their career. I think at least for some time they should work in a startup because you get a lot more experience. Like when you work in a large company, you are just focused on one small
being that cog in the machine.
Yeah. So you don't get a lot of responsibility or a lot of restriction, all of that. But when you join a startup, organically a lot of things will come to you, right? So you have to take a lot more responsibility. You get a chance to build something and fail at it, so you also learn from your failures, right? And it just makes you a lot wiser, lot quicker.
Yeah, and when you say like you learned 15 years worth of experience in 4 years, it's a compliment to you and the company both.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
Nothing is happening if you're not willing to learn.
Yeah.
But the company is also forgiving and giving enough to let you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of freedom. I experienced freedom. Like I could do, like imagine doing part of sales, implementation, documentation, LMS, also training other people, all of this.
Yeah, that's most of the part except from the coding.
Yeah.
But it's still like a good 80-90%.
Yeah, right. So in a way that helped me to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. Without that, it would have been a lot difficult. Yeah. So like I was like an intrapreneur, right? which helped me, which prepared me to become an entrepreneur. But I'm glad, great, lot of fun in Frappe.
Yeah, like doing your own projects in Frappe feels like you're running your own little thing. Yeah. Like Frappe School was your project.
Yeah.
And just, you like took it and went with it, right? Like everything that happened, the whole autonomy, the whole responsibility was also on us.
Yeah. And Janan did a great job in building the app, and we were giving her a lot of feedback and she would implement it so quickly.
Yeah.
It was like the larger problem we were facing. Well, we knew, okay, this is great, Frappe and ERP, but why aren't other people using? See, that is the question even today.
Yeah.
I think probably 100 times more organizations should be using ERP Next, but they aren't. One of the bottleneck is, okay, you write code that scales really well, but who will do the hard work of implementing it, right? The distribution, right? So this idea organically evolved that we need a lot more people to learn ERP Next. And how are we going to do it, right? Not everybody is going to read code on GitHub and figure out. Documentation was one thing that we were already working, but we felt we need to make it easier to learn ERP Next. Right. That's where the Frappe School came into picture. And I had a lot of fun creating this content. So Rushabh had actually recommended that, okay, I should be the person
saying the
Yeah,
courses
the on camera, but I was like, okay, and there was also COVID going on, so I was also a bit shy, and yeah, Lynette took that.
Yeah, she also like did a great job. Like she would record courses in very quick succession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the idea whose time had come, and I think it also helped a lot of people learn, discover ERP Next, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things happened in 4 years.
Yeah, a lot of things. Like I remember being hired for Frappe School, but 6 months and I was like, I'm leaving Frappe School. And you all were always very cool with it. You're like, okay, yeah, do whatever you need to.
Yeah, only because I myself had done so many others there. So it was only fair that I let other people also kind of,
Yeah, which is great learning for me also. Like that was my first experience in any company.
Yeah.
Like apart from my own, which is not like I was right out of college. I was hoping to see more of the, corporate or formal world.
Yeah.
And I came to Frappe and I was like, and the first weekend you were like, it's not a good idea to work on a Saturday. I was like, okay, this is that kind of company.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big learning experience for me also, like changing teams, then leaving, regretting leaving, coming back, all of it.
Yeah. No, even today when in Fast ERP, when we are doing implementations, I keep telling all the people like Vignesh, Viral, that don't work on weekends, you don't have to work after the office hours and all, but they still do. Maybe because they're having fun.
Yeah,
and,
that is fine. If people are doing it out of their own volition, it's okay.
Yeah. But Rishabh was also clear, right? He never was trying to extract a lot of work out of us. He was pushing us to find meaningful work that we connect with and do a great work. But you don't have to work more than like a meaningful hours of work. It was never about working more hours.
Yeah.
It was always about whatever the hours work you do it like really well.
And also like don't make work your entire life.
Yeah. See, that is the other thing, no? Like you are not your work. You are more than your work. I think a lot of young people, their entire identity derives from the work. Like if you take away the work, they don't have much left. And that's not a good thing. You're a lot more than your work. So you have to work, I think 8 hours is a good number of hours to work. But just do better. This is what I tell a lot of people who join my company, that okay, work for 8 hours, but in those 8 hours, do a good job. Right?
Fair enough, yeah. As long as you're productive, doesn't even matter how many hours you're working.
True. And especially in tech, right? Like you can work fewer hours, but if you do a good job, you have a lot more impact.
Why not? Yeah. But anyway, because you mentioned Fast ERP, let's, I think, come to that. How does it feel being an entrepreneur? It's been 3.5 years, right?
Yeah. So it is both. There are good parts. There are also not so good parts. Good parts is like there's freedom at another level, right? There's also responsibility at another level. Like now you have to pay people on time.
You pay your own bills and everybody else's bills also.
Yeah. That can be a bit, cash flow management can be a bit stressful. But you also have the freedom. You can also do what you like to do and there's nobody to tell you. I mean, anyway, Frappe had prepared me for that. So it is fun. It's also a responsibility because, like we automated outgoing payments for one of our vendor, but we also had a replica server. And when one of my team member restored the DB, the email went from the replica server.
Okay.
So somebody actually paid 40 lakh rupee extra to the vendors.
Oh.
I mean, in the production system, they had already processed the invoices and paid, but they got an email from the replica because we had just restored. So they ended up paying one more time because that person was new in the team, just because they had received an email. So there's a lot of responsibility because you had...
Sure, this doesn't happen.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
But they were so cool about it. They're like, okay, they understood.
No problem, got our money back.
They were cool about it. There was another customer. We actually did something for them. We ended up deleting some of their data.
Oh, that's the worst.
Right? I mean,
don't ever say this. I don't know if we should put this out because people will be like, this
it's okay.
open source is not secure.
No.
I know it has
would have
to
happened
do with open source.
No, these are the real stories that needs to be told.
Right.
See, when you are running a company, you also feel like, oh, what if things go wrong? Things will go wrong. You have to go to your customer and tell them this is what has happened. see, the world is also a lot more forgiving than we
realize.
Right? If you go and tell them, be upfront and honest that this is what has happened, this is why it happened, and this is where we messed up, this is where your team messed up. Now this is how we are going to recover. Right? You put yourself in a position where you go and tell your customer that some data has been has been deleted. Right? You would probably not feel, you're very afraid of that, but it happened, and in both instances our customers understood. Right? Also because we had built that relationship, we had solved a lot of their problems. They're like, okay, it happens now how do we recover?
You build that trust up, and that trust warrants some kind of forgiveness.
Yeah, right. So this is the part where you are taking risk, right? That is very scary part of entrepreneurship, right? That keeps me up. Like, okay, my team member doing X and Y, what if this goes wrong? How do we... You have to put processes in place so that it doesn't happen again. So that is the scary part. Like, you are taking a lot of risk.
But also all you can do is trust. Like, how will you realize that person has that potential unless you trust them to do the big stuff?
Yeah. See, I'm sure even in Frappe, some things must have gone wrong.
So many things.
Right? But yeah, take responsibility. Yeah. Go to your customer or whoever and just be upfront and tell, okay, this is what has happened. And this is why it has happened. And this is how we're going to, this is what we're going to do now. And this is what we're going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. So that part of entrepreneurship is scary, right? That you take risk. Things could go wrong. It can impact people in a way. That part is scary. But the good part is, like, see, I hired people who were earning, let's say, 35,000 rupees a month. Now they earn more than 1 lakh rupee a month. They have gone on to buy a car, all that stuff. So you also feel
you're enabling them.
You're enabling them. Yeah. Like, you aren't doing much, but you're giving them a chance that they deserved, right? You are creating a team where people come and learn, and so that part is like,
and you must have gotten it from somewhere, right? Like, I've always noticed these things that we pass on, like the good deeds that we do, is because somebody else has done it for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like when I was working in Deloitte, I had a manager called Sunil. He was like one of the kindest people I have met. He was so patient. He taught me so much, and I always feel like I should become like Sunil. Then Rishabh, of course. Yeah. Rishabh was different. He was also tough. He also pushed me a lot. But I also felt he gave me, he respected the freedom. Yeah. So I am trying to do, learn from these people and trying to do. And I feel a sense of responsibility that all this kindness and the mentorship that I received, now I should pass on to other people, right? See, that is something that has worked out really well in our company. Like, like this guy called Vignesh, just like me, he was also very shy, but very hardworking. Another guy called Viral, also very, very hardworking. I keep telling them, guys, you don't have to work so much, but they do. And then this new person joins, Bharat, and he sees that, okay, Vignesh is working really hard and Viral is working really hard, and
I also must work hard.
Yeah, it kind of, he just organically started to work.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of a culture is really good. I think I'm the least hardworking person in my entire team.
As a founder, that is... I think you're more of a leadership role. So, like...
There was a time where I was working really hard, like when I started. But now there are other people who are doing a lot of hard work, like the delivery part. And I'm doing sales, recruitment, and all of that.
Yeah.
And it is working out really well for us. Like, I think people, like, when I worked for 1 year as a freelancer. Then my sister joined me. She's an employee in my company.
Okay.
She had taken a career break. Nagvani, she joined me. She learned something. She does a lot of, a couple of projects and also a lot of admin work. And then Vignesh joined. Then Viral joined. Then a lot of people joined. I think we have a happy team, and I think we are slowly growing. So one of my things is also to pay more. I think paying more is going to solve a lot of problem for us.
Yeah, like I have an interesting story. Like my first ever internship, this was between 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah.
And so, like, I had no context of anything, but it was a marketing internship where you had to call and ask for sponsors for this fashion show thing.
Okay.
At a design institute.
Yeah.
So, and this was the only internship I've ever heard of who paid like interns as young as me. Otherwise, back then, most internships were like, they would make you do the work for free, or they like in psychology courses, they make you pay samne se. So I was like really intrigued, and I really respected the founder. I was like, oh, you're actually paying me.
Yeah.
So the day I got my first salary, I must have put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I went to eat lunch and it fell out. And we saw that on the CCTV, and I was like, I started crying, and I was like, this is so bad. Like, I really wanted to be proud and everything.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did, he was like, I wanted to be happy.
Wow.
I wanted to be responsible also. Yeah. But he gave me another, like, 5,000 rupees. This is your salary again. Wow. Don't go and tell your parents that you lost it. Like, okay, like, and that's always stayed with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even when I started Spill, I was like, I will pay. We didn't have any money. I was like, I will pay. I have no choice, but like, somebody did this for me, I must do it for other people. And when I see, like, that's the money part is just one thing, but when I see similar thought processes, you're automatically, drawn to them. Yeah. Which is why Frappe also, I think, worked out well for me, because, like, it's so liberal, it's so free. Yeah. But they're also sustainable and, like, morally sustainable. Yeah. Which is quite important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there are good parts of entrepreneurship. There are hard parts of entrepreneurship. Yeah. Then, like Anuradha, who is also my partner, my wife, she joined, and she now handles a few projects, helps me with the recruitment, helps me finishing some of the things I start, and then I leave. So she has been very, very helpful, both in terms of work and also in terms of sometimes it's hard, so she's always there to support me. That way I was lucky to have her, and
Yeah. So do you feel like you finally like have found somewhere where you fit?
Yeah, it does.
That's
nice.
Does.
It does, because, like growing up, it didn't feel like I fit. Studying in Bangalore also didn't feel like, even studying computer science was like an abstract thing, right? And Deloitte also felt like a misfit. Frappe,
a little bit here
and there, but finally I feel okay, this is what I'm meant to do. And I think and also I got a couple of really good people to work with me, right? That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Right? Vignesh, Viral, Anu, Nagmani, they all are like, I don't have to push them to do anything. They just know what.
You all share the same passion and the same like goal, I'm guessing, for the company. So it works out.
Yeah. And it was also important that I found these people first, because that kept me going. Right? Had I found them much later and things had gone a different way, maybe I would have been dejected, and I would have, like, I needed that time. I needed that time to find the right people and support me. Now we have a couple of new people, Nasreen and Soumya. They are very, very young, but they are also already doing so much work, right? And
age is, I have forgotten the fact that age has anything to do with skill levels. Yeah.
I mean, these are like freshers. They are already solving problems for, like we have one project where the manufacturing is really complex. Like there are 10,000 components in one machine.
Oh.
Right? And these people are just doing it. Right? And it feels so happy that, okay, I just created a small team where people come, learn so quickly and solve complex problems. I'm like, okay, there's something I'm doing.
There is something. Like even Safwan, from our team, he just turned 18 a few weeks ago, and I was so surprised. Like he runs the whole product on his own. He runs Frappe Drive. Yeah. And now we're all using Frappe Drive very, I think, publicly. Yeah. So it's so surprising. I was so happy to see somebody so young and still so accomplished. Yeah. They are very cool. Like one day I want to have all these young people on the podcast. I can't believe I'm saying young people. Now I feel old.
See. Sure. No, for me, I think the best Frappe engineers are in Frappe, and my goal is to build a company where the best ERP Next consultants are in my team. right?
It's so clear as like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, couple of them are already there. Yeah, but that's something that I want to build. I think I'll have a lot of fun. I have seen, like, we had this person, Saundarya, just out of college. She joined. She did 1 year internship. She learned a lot. And recently she was working on a project where she has to go stand in front of like 20 doctors. It was a healthcare project, and give them a demo.
Oh.
And doctors don't want to see demos. They're like, I'm so busy, and this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And just imagine, with just 1.5, 2 year experience, you were standing there giving a demo to 20 doctors, right? I mean,
Scary.
scary. And she did it, right? And I felt great. I'm doing something right. Yeah, because this person comes, I mean, hardworking, great, smart person. But I also think she went through the journey of learning, because ERPs are not like sexy, right? I mean, you build a consumer app.
Business,
great.
it's a business software. There's something that you should have backend. It works. It does all your
Like no person out of college would know, unless they come from commerce or whatever. Like, what is the purchase order or what is the delivery note and all. So it's a bit abstract. But people with 1 to 2 year experience who have joined our team are solving complex problems. Right? Probably there's something that we are doing right.
Yeah, they found their fit, I think, like, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Because I also don't believe that once you find your fit, you have to stay there forever.
You evolve.
Yeah, you have to evolve. Like, there's no other way to it.
Yeah.
You have to move on, because if you get too comfortable, then you're not learning anything.
Yeah. So I this is what I keep telling my team members, right? Like Vignesh, Viral, Anuradha, Nagini, all these people, that okay, like what I did in Frappe, I joined Frappe, I learned a lot, and now I'm an entrepreneur. And my dream for all these people is also that they go on and start their own companies, and they solve problems. They become successful in their own rights. And I hope I give them that experience. Like what happened with me in Frappe, 4 years, I got a chance to be responsible for a lot of things, make those mistakes, but still have that safety and learn. And I want to do the same with, give them the same environment where people come, they take a lot of responsibility.
They grow
work
bigger in the company itself, which is fine. Like, the goal is not to retain people forever. It's to make sure that they grow to their biggest potential.
Absolutely. My goal is not to retain these people forever.
Yeah.
I want them to come learn. Whenever they'll know when they are ready, that they can go start their own companies or do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So I'm cool about, like, I myself have worked in so many different companies, right?
Yeah.
So it's only right that I let people go when they
those
feel
experiences.
that something else is right for them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, at least it's my dream to create a lot more entrepreneurs, especially in the Frappe and ERP Next ecosystem.
Yeah, mine was completely opposite. Like, I was an entrepreneur first, and now I'm doing a job later.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, like, I did that for 6 years without stopping. And the point was that I also, like, I thought that was my perfect fit.
Yeah.
But after so many years, I also felt like I was not fitting in well, which is so counterintuitive to even think about. Like, your own company, you feel like you're not fitting. Like, what do you do next? You stop being an entrepreneur and you go join a company that might give you a little more learning, a little more, or you go study or whatever it is. Like, so I completely respect the fact that when people understand that there is always something more and something bigger.
Yeah.
Your, goal should be to keep people happy in this phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone should become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
At some
it's
stage
it's
in
a life
their
skill.
life. Yeah.
Like swimming or something.
Yeah. You learn to trust yourself.
Yeah.
You learn to be okay when things don't go your way. Like when you fail, when a project fails.
Yeah.
You learn that it's okay. You will learn something from it and you will move on. I definitely think everyone should become an entrepreneur at some stage in life.
And the people you meet, insane. Like, the amount of people you meet versus the diversity of people you meet, all of it is just so great. Like, then you feel like you're not alone. You know, like, we here, both of us are sitting here and talking about how we in different places might have felt like we didn't fit in.
Yeah.
And everybody has that story in different settings.
Yeah.
Like, so however perfect you think that this person's journey must have been, it's not. We all share this one thing where we've grown and grown to find, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, and also being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of risk. There's also a lot of reward. Like even right after Frappe, for 1 year I worked as a freelancer, and I earned about 20 lakhs, which is
Decent.
good.
Yeah.
Which is good. Then next year I incorporated the company, and in the first year we did about 75 lakhs as a revenue. I myself took about 25ish, which was also not bad. Then we grew to 1.1 crore revenue next year. I took a little bit more, about 30ish. This year also I think we'll do good. Yeah, my goal is to share more. These people are working really hard. I think I am yet to figure out the exact equation. But I'm sure I'm getting
But your
there.
intention is right, so you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, but also people have see when you are running a company, you look at the long term, but not every other person has that luxury.
Yeah.
Right? There are things people want to do. They want to buy home, they want to get married, they want to buy cars and and go to good places, etc. So I want to crack that equation. Like I want to pay more, but also we have to be competitive. But I think I'm getting there. Where so I want to implement my own version of pick your own pay.
Nice.
I mean I'm not there where Frappe is, but I always, so the conversation always starts that okay, what do you want to get paid? Like, because when we are hiring people or end of the year when we do, so I ask them. I always let them make their first move.
Yeah, that's a make or break expectation. That's how you have to ask.
We have to ask,
Yeah.
right? So that is very different compared to how large corporations work. They basically rate you, like the top 10% people get paid X. But here I'm trying to do my own version of. I mean, my goal is to eventually do what Frappe is doing, like pick your own pay, right? I also want to share, like I'm trying to, in a way, do things that Frappe does, right? Which is pick your own pay to an extent. Like a lot of times I have been able to, I ask people like, what do you want to get paid? They came up with a very reasonable number. I said, okay. It is only once that I actually
had to negotiate.
No, I did negotiate I do negotiate. But only once I disagreed with somebody and it had to go my way. But I'm thinking I'm going to fix it now. So people do understand. People are responsible.
Yeah. Like here also, like if you quote I think, suppose you quote like a 90% hike.
Yeah.
You have to prove it. Yeah. That's all you have to do. That the onus of proving it is on you.
Yeah.
If you don't, next year feel free to go back down or like leave or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there is definitely money, even though it is open source. But if you can take Frappe and ERP next and you can solve problems, you get paid. Right? Some people feel, oh, it's open source, how do we make money and all? But see, as long as you're solving problems. Yeah, service is not free and people are willing to pay. Right? Because imagine somebody just paying crores just for license.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you can take Frappe and ERP next, solve the business problem, they'll pay. Right? You just have to do a good job.
Bigger cost, right, of the licensing.
Correct.
So they should be within budget no matter what.
Yeah, I know. I'm myself taking about 36 lakhs this year, which is great. No, I already feel I'm hitting the upper end. Like I don't need more money than this.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Because in that you are able to pay pay your EMI or whatever, spend good money and manage one-off expenses. I think I'll soon hit a stage where I don't have to take more money and I can share with more people. Yeah, I think a lot more people should try offering services around ERP next. There is money to be made. There's fun to be had. There are problems to be solved. I hope a lot more people try it.
Yeah, it's cool that like once you're in this ecosystem / black hole, you're going to stay there almost forever, I guess.
Yeah. I also see a lot of, I was just talking to somebody yesterday who had some experience in Frappe. And that person was saying like, I don't want to become an employee in another company now. I want to do something around Frappe and ERP next on my own. And the market is so huge, I mean, see, with every single day, Frappe and ERP next is becoming the choice for a lot more companies. So our ecosystem probably needs to be 100x than what it is in terms of partner. There are only 300 partners. Can you believe in,
Yeah,
so
in
much,
the whole world. Yeah.
so many more companies can use Frappe and ERP next. So I think there should be like 3,000 partners.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are many more people who are not hosting on Frappe Cloud, but like self-hosting or whatever AWS.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of choice. I think probably in the next 5 to 10 years, you will see ERP next Frappe like exploding. That becomes the go-to choice. Like today, Linux is the go-to operating system.
Yeah.
I think the next 5 to 10 years, ERP next will become the go-to ERP. Definitely. I'm somehow fairly confident.
So excited to see that happen. I mean, the prediction is, happy one. Yeah.
I think it's going to happen. It's an idea whose time has come.
Nice.
Thanks to Rishabh for giving me the opportunity and also pushing me. Thanks to Umair, Nabeen, Prakashji, Rohit. I had a lot of fun with these guys. I think Frappe and ERP Next deserve a lot more. I see every year they're getting closer and closer. It's more than just, okay, we are better, we succeeded, right? It's like a moment. I think a lot of people will start open sourcing their stuff even at the application level. Hopefully that becomes the go-to route, that you write code and you open source. But you still have Frappe and ERP Next succeeding is very dramatic, that you open source, but still people choose to pay you. Because I read or heard somewhere that, okay, there was one Red Hat. There is like only one Red Hat. There will never be a second Red Hat again, right? But I think Frappe is that, right? Frappe.
It's a new standard. For an open source system to become very popular, it's a new standard.
Yeah. Frappe is the exception, right? As of now, and I hope that becomes the rule, that people choose this way of distributing their software.
That's a nice line. This is going to be a nice reel. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's been really, really fun to have you as a guest, and it feels very nice, full circle for me. You're the one who was my first manager or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times to have you on the podcast, new project, same place. But yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Foram, for inviting me. Yeah. I don't know how this will come out. I'm a bit of a camera shy, but hopefully I had something worthwhile to listen to.
It's going to be great. I can promise you. And we'll see when it comes out. But yes, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching the Frappe podcast.
Thanks everyone.